And good morning, everyone, for another morning coffee with Marcaida on a Saturday. Starting the weekend edition here that I was able to pick up. And how's everybody doing? And in today's thought is, as of late, I've been communicating with a friend of mine, and you've seen some of his posts of his very inspiring works, of the journey that he's taking right now, and it's Solomon Umberto, which is a metalworker artist who is taking his own special talents to be able to give back, at the same time find ways to continue writing his book of his life. And I bring that because I think a lot of us are experiencing, and have experienced, or will experience, times of our life that are life-changing. And for his case, and I'll add this on because it's still an ongoing thing, but I think a lot of us can relate. He was an artist who worked in Argentina, in his town, and just living there alone with the situation, it wasn't definitely an easy world to live in. He had a little shop where he was doing his sculptures as a metal worker, and I fell into hard times. His mother got cancer, so he had to take care of his mother, and in doing so, with the cancer treatments and everything else, it drained him of what he was doing. And in taking care of that, he had to neglect some of his responsibilities in his shop, and they fell to hard times. And eventually, the shop, he couldn't keep up with the taxes, because you're doing metal working, and all these sculptures are very hard to sell. Even though he's a well-known artist, I mean, there are a lot of buyers in a bad economy. Eventually, his mother did pass away, but the sad part also was that his shop was broken into and all his tools were stolen. So he fell into depression and thinking, what am I going to do now? But you know what? Instead of just falling into that, he goes, I am an artist and I have these talents. I'll take control of my talents and I'm going to go forward. And so he took a trip. And I'll tell this story because I told him, you know what? As he's telling me all this and I'm watching what he's doing, there's a story to be told, because that's all that we do. But to summarize and go short with this, and our point for this particular talk, we always say when a door closes, a window opens. But what if your house doesn't have windows? Then you make a window, right? So you make a window to make sure it opens. I'm not one to sit and wait for something to happen or try to figure things out. Although I do believe that if you open up the possibilities, you'll be able to see it, but you have to open yourself up. I'm a take control kind of guy. When things happen or things end, I don't look at it as, well, there's a meaning for this. And I do believe that. You know, there's a reason for everything. I do believe that. But I'm also the type that, well, I'll go there and I'll make my own reasons. I'm a go, you know, if bad things happen. So when something ends, it only means that it's not the end of everything. It's a meaning that we can start something new. So instead of saying, if I look at things in terms of door closes, hopefully a window will open, or hopefully this is what it means. No, I look at it this way. It's a chance to review a new chapter or start reading a new chapter in my life. That way, no matter what, when I look at it in terms of my book of my life, there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. It just is my story that I'm telling. So if I am writing my own chapters and something happens that's unexpected, I cannot control what happens around me. I can control how I write it. So if something bad happens, there's an end to what I'm doing right now. Maybe my career comes into an end. He lost everything in his shop. What do I do now? Or this is something I was doing all my life. Now it's ended. What do I do now? Am I just going to stay here in despair? No. To me, it's like, oh, okay. End of chapter. Turn the page. Take a pen. Now I'm going to start a new chapter. And I'm going to accept what's going to happen. I'm going to write what's going to happen. I look at it that way. I look at it as an opportunity to begin something new. And a lot of times, we can only focus on what we can do ourselves. We cannot change our situations around us. So one of the things I was saying, the first thing you can do to write a new chapter is, what can you control? I can control what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do. So now stop about everything else, because everybody goes, oh my God, I just lost my job. Now I got to think about finding a new job. I got to think about making the bills. All that will always be there. It was there to begin with, even when you were doing your job. So take a breath for a second and realize that I got to prepare to start writing a new chapter. So the first thing that I'm going to do, take care of me. Because everything here I can't control, but I can take care of me. Work out. I've always wanted to work out. I can't work out now because, I've always wanted to do things for myself, to do the things that I want to do that are important to me. I'm going to do now because I just lost my job, or I just lost this career, or I just lost this project or this contract or whatever. I'm going to take the time to do something that's around me that I can control. And for me, it's like, I'll take a breath and I'll just probably take a trip that I wanted to do, or do something that I've wanted to do for myself. All these other things that we're looking for others are always going to be there. But take a breath and say, maybe this is a time when you have to think about yourself. It was an interesting thing that had happened before also to me was I used to work nights in the hospital. And then aside from working my hospital job, I taught martial arts. And I traveled all over to teach my seminars. It was a 7-day work week for me. And my friends knew that. I go, my God, you're still doing that, all these things. And what happened was I got sick. And I had double pneumonia, and it was really hard and everything else. And one of my friends who came in to see me, and he goes, you know what? I'll take this time that you're out, because I was out for 3 months. I had to be in home oxygen and everything else. And he told me something very interesting. He goes like, well, I see God's talking to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, because you yourself won't stop, so he gave you this. So you will stop and take a breath and slow down. And there are different ways to look at that. Like, what? Where's that coming from? He goes, yeah, you won't take care of yourself, he'll take care of you. So he gave you this. Think of it that way, because you needed to take a break. So sometimes these things that are sad or hard or painful are probably put in there for you to take a break, to start again. For you to take a break, to take notice of the things that are really important. Maybe your health is important. Maybe your family time is important. Maybe the passion you have for a hobby is important. All these things we will never notice because we're so busy doing the other things. So sometimes when something happens that's negative, when something that happens that's a hardship, take a breath and say, okay, stop. Okay, it's fine. I lost my job. Fine, I lost a new career. Fine, am I going to be doing that? Let me set that aside. What are the other things that I can notice now? Because this thing is not here to keep my focus. It's the other things that I have. So it's a lesson to be learned to write your new chapter, because now sometimes the bad things that do pull you away, that you can now not worry about or put your energy, will let you see other things around you. And that's maybe the new chapter that you need to write about. And it also relates to what Solomon is doing. He lost his mother to cancer. He lost his shop. All his tools were stolen. He can't continue to make his sculptures. So instead of staying there, it made him realize, what is the thing that I love to do? I like to continue to make sculptures. Well, other people around Latin America have tools. Maybe I'll travel to them. What do I love to do? I love to ride a motorcycle. So he's a rider. So he took his talents with him. He's riding through. He loves to continue making art. So now he's contacting, in every city he goes, he'll contact a local motorcycle group that's there and say, hey, I like to make sculptures and I like to help hospitals and sculptures for kids and oncology. So he's taking his talent and doing the things that he loves in a different direction. But he took charge of it, because now he is writing his chapter. And I'm helping just give an idea to him. You need to write these stories, and I'll share them, because they're beautiful works of art for a good cause. And at the same time, as he's still also driving through to do the things that he loves, which is riding that motorcycle to different cities, to still create his sculptures without having tools, by using other people's sculptures, by using the junk that they have around them and doing good with it. Writing a new chapter. The tragedy was there, but he didn't let them pull him down. Instead, he goes, that's the end of that chapter. Here's a new chapter to start. And that's inspiring to see that despite all that, you can continue to do a new chapter, a new way to view your life and continue your story. Nothing will ever let you down except you. Nothing will stop you except you. So everything that ever happens to you is just another way to say, okay, time to write something new, or time to write about it and control that. And that's my thought for today. Doug Marcaida, Morning Cup of Joe. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.